Another realization that I just had is that as a result of being quarantined, people being at home and apart from other people when COVID happened and how it's is now, the quarantine has caused people to feel what it's like to live by yourself or to live kind of apart from others. And they can start to see that there are people elsewhere, people in their own communities who have lived like this for a long time, who have been lonely, okay? And what's happened as a result of that is that instead of people connecting with their friends physically, they're connecting with them over the internet, and they're also starting to connect with others who are on the internet in their own community that they've never seen before, you know. Things like that, I'm sure, are happening. And so it's a new way of uniting everybody because though we though we think we are united in our communities, we really don't know the people next door like our parents parents did. You know, in the 70s and 60s, you knew who your neighbors were. These days, people don't know who their neighbors are. They don't even visit their neighbors. Some do, some don't, but a good bit of them don't. And certainly in apartments, it's commonly the case. You don't know who people are because they're in transition. They're coming in and out a lot quicker. So there's nobody there who are solidly in the apartment complex. I think the women are the ones that have a tendency to develop the relationships with other people in the community. The men don't, and that's how they come together. But when you're living single, it probably tends to happen a lot less unless you're part of some sort of organization, you know, some sort of club. You don't connect with other people. But also keep in mind that people that are in far off places, unless it's very difficult to be accountable. It's very difficult to let down your guard and make friendships with people across the internet because there are a lot of scammers and people out there that either, even if they had the greatest of intents, that anything could happen and you'd lose that friend. I mean, they could lose their internet connection, they could lose their account. You know, things on the internet are virtual and they're not reliable. I mean, the technology's not reliable. And so people could lose connection for any reason, you know, for by choice or by accident. And in reality, you would have you would have a form of feedback. You would know what happened to somebody because you could ask around. But on the internet, it's not the case. And that's the reason why the internet, you can't really rely on that as being, it depends. Um, on AltSpace VR, I did form friends there. I don't know if they would ever want to know me in reality, but a lot of them would put up photographs in their home to say, this is what I look like in reality. This is my avatar. This is what I look like in reality. And you probably, I've seen some of the pictures and I'm like, I probably wouldn't have known you in reality because you're freaking ugly. It's just like me, people look at me and some of them are just like, oh, you're ugly, this big old fat white dude. And I'm just like, well, yeah. And would anybody like you? Have you ever asked the same question about yourself? And you know, it may have been the people that are like that are the ones that tend to be prettier, or maybe it's just somebody that expects everybody to be pretty or presentable on the internet. And I'm just accountable. I'm just out there saying this is what I look like, and this is how I talk, and this is what I think. And there are some people that are afraid to do that because they're afraid people are going to come out of the woodwork to kill them or something like that. And it's that kind of concern and fear that's driving a lot of the politics and problems in our world, is the belief that there are people out there to get them. Yeah, they're scammers, but those scammers are, you would never know them. They would never be accountable. And I mean, they could scam me, but there's lower lower fruit to pick at, and those are the ones they go for, not the ones that are well known and on YouTube, that got cameras. They're going for the ones that don't have cameras, that aren't on YouTube, that aren't popular, that, you know, because they went for somebody like me, and I turned the camera on them, then it'd blow their cover. And the other thing is that I'm in a distant place. I'm in a rural place. I'm fairly inaccessible. And there's another part of me that says, well, if someone killed me, then all the things I ever said would get known to the world. So, you know, it'd probably be the best thing, for my ideas. It wouldn't be the best thing for me, but it would be the best thing for all the ideas I have, you know. So there's always you just got to have some perspective, just, you know, not not think that the world is out to get you, because that's what they ask of people if they're crazy, is they say, do you think the world's out to get you? That's one of those questions they ask you on psychological analysis. And if you think the world's out to get you, they don't want to hire you, because if it's for a job, because they do those psychoanalysis. Maybe you need to have people like that in your business, people that are a little crazy, because they're not everybody's perfect, And I think that before COVID, there was a lot of evil going on, and the evil was people trying to, expecting way too much of people, and not being able, and not trusting people enough. So and that was the reason why that when you apply for a job, they would have all those requirements on there, is just that they didn't naturally trust anybody. They they try to shoot for having an organization that's easily manageable, where people are, you know, not crazy, and, they're trying to make everybody perfect. And as a result of that, they're not getting what they wanted. They're getting people who are relying on these tests just to get the jobs. Because there's no, so what you're doing is you're actually, the people that would be truthful, you're getting the people that would lie. See how that works? So the thing is that you can never win. Okay, you can never win the way that you would win. You have to kind of trust that other people are going to figure it out and help you win. You have to kind of lay it on the line. Uh, there are people you're going to have to fire, and there's and I think as a result of COVID, probably the prices of healthcare is going to go down, because it's going to require more healthcare institutions. It's going to require more beds. It's going to require more surgeons, more medical people. It's going to, just as when the war happened, it improved our technology and improved our sciences. It got a lot more people educated. That's what's going to happen as a result of COVID, is that there's going to be a lot more medical people, and there are going to be a lot of people that are going to realize that there isn't, that you can't trust the medical sciences as much, and that you shouldn't put as much trust in it. There are going to be more people who are going to trust in the higher power. And as a result of all of that, they're not going to be paying high dollar for insurance, you know, technologies and solutions. They're going to be trusting more that, you know, that'll take care of itself, you know, that they don't really need to go and see a doctor. They don't really need to have surgery. They're going to find out that surgery is like, it's like playing Russian roulette with your body, because no surgery is ever perfect. Um, there's always something that's going to happen as a result of surgery that's going to negatively affect you. And, you know, maybe they put the intestines in wrong. Maybe they didn't get it quite right the first time. You know, those things always happen. And that's the reason why doctors are so reluctant to suggest surgery, and the reason why they always push forward preventative medicine tactics, and that is, uh, get more sleep, don't drink don't take stimulants, uh, exercise more, eat healthfully. Those are things they always tend to tell you, and that is because that has more effect over your health than what they ever could do for you. All they're going to do for you is things that are going to keep you from dying now, you know, um, stuff that's going to help you to do the other things, that the preventative stuff, you know.